name of the IRGC. Some of y'all says the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. It's the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. That's why these guys are willing to go work with no pay, because they work in the service of the Ayatollah, the religious leader, aka, bro, they're not even fighting for money. Like I said, they're fighting for their sovereignty. And y'all can't even understand that. As Americans, honestly, y'all should be able to understand that, seeing our history.
Welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad you're safe and back to work this morning.
Thank you so much, Congressman. That really means a lot. I appreciate it. I do want to start off by getting your reaction to the events.
No, because I do hate when people make that idiotic comment of, you're defending the IRGC. No, I'm giving you guys information on the IRGC, on the demographics of Iran, so you can understand why this war is a terrible idea and how you guys have not been told enough information about Iran to understand why this war is a bad idea. While, the regime change was never going to happen. Them giving up their enrichment was never going to happen. It's like, do you guys understand? Because you've been honestly fed a little to no real good information about Iran. So like I said, it's not about defending the IRGC or defending Iran. It's about the reason why this war turned out to be a bad idea is because you were sold a lie about Iran, about his people, religion, military capability, all that stuff you were lied about. And you're still continuously being lied about it today. But I mean, y'all don't want to see that. Well, some of y'all do.
Here overnight in Washington, and everyone's so grateful to the Secret Service for keeping us safe.
It was absolutely horrific. I'm so relieved that the president, the first lady, every administration official, and all the guests are safe. I appreciate.
You see, it's like I said, it's dumb. Angus, you know what? I'm just gonna say you're uninformed. It's uninformed people like you, bro. That's like, really, Iran's not mostly Muslim. That's what I'm saying. You guys don't know nothing about Iran. Anybody can look this up. It's an easy Google search. Out of the 93 million people that are there, 88 million identify as Muslim. So to sit there and say that is not a Muslim country, I'm like, bro, you're an idiot at a certain point. Or you're just ignoring facts that are right in your face. And you're instead of believing the people on Fox News who ain't never even studied Iran in their life, you're believing them over somebody who literally looked into the culture and everything, who's literally talked to actual Iranians outside and inside of Iran, by the way. Thanks, shout out to X, because X allows us that capability. So I'm sorry, but you really don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Iran. And you might actually, well, I don't know, look up their history. That'll dispel most of the lies you hear.
Law enforcement, and particularly the Secret Service agent was shot, and hope he made.
And Hob, I guess I gotta go at everybody. Hob, like, bro, Iran needs to learn not to be terrorists. I mean, dog, us as Americans saying that to Iran is literally the pot calling the kettle black, literally. Because do you understand what Operation Ajax was when we literally went in there and literally try to steal their oil rights, pretty much try to sit there and make sure that their oil never worked for them, but only worked for us? We took out a democratically elected leader, took him out, and then placed in the Shah, who was an authoritarian leader that terrorized his people and stole resources from them. I mean, it's like, from that history alone, isn't that kind of the pot calling the kettle black? And they weren't known as a terrorist state then, but due to our interference with them, they became so-called a terrorist state. And here's the funniest part about it. They overthrew the Shah that we put in, that was being a dictator towards them. And then here's the funny thing. When they overthrew the Shah, we green stamped the Khomeini guy. Yes, the Ayatollah, the first one, the savage, the real savage. Yeah, we green light him to go in and replace the Shah, by the way. All right. So one, that's kind of our fault why Iran even has the Ayatollah in there in the first place. Oh, yes. And why they scream death to America. Did you forget that we supported Saddam in attacking Iran? We green lighted him. We convinced him to do so with the help of the Gulf states, which is why Iran don't like us or the Gulf states either. So I'm sorry, but it is the pot calling the kettle black when we sit there and try to call them a terrorist state. Like, we ain't put acts on terrorists. Like, we ain't done acts of terrorism on them as well. Like, we literally helped the guy who's invaded them get a chemical weapon to gas them in a war where they lost 500,000 people in. You don't think they remember that? Bro, in January, we put CIA and Mossad agents to put guns in protesters' hands to shoot to take over the government and started shooting protesters and police. You don't, that's an act of terrorism, low key. That's an act of terrorism right there. So it's really so funny when people sit there and say, well, they shouldn't be terrorists. I mean, that's the pot calling the kettle black right there as a citizen of America and understanding what our government does out there in the Middle East.
Makes a full recovery. But as you know, Christian, this is an event.
No, I respect that, though. I respect that, Hobb. He says, if we got to play dirty, then it is what it is. I get that. But then we can't be sitting here complaining about terrorists that we're creating, though. It's like, come on, what are we, Israel? We're just going to sit here and fund Hamas and then complain about it? That's literally what we do. It's like we sit there and we fund terrorists that we're going to complain about like 5 or 10 years later. And we continuously do it. I mean, bro, we just put Al-Qaeda in the head of Syria. Like, I think that should be the biggest eye-opener ever about our support for terrorism in the Middle East. But we'll support it and then condemn it at the same time. I think that should be the biggest eye-opener right there. The fact that a head chopper bin Ladenite is running Syria.
That is actually the symbol of an open, free society. And to see journalists like you and others ducking under tables was just horrifying. We need a bipartisan national commission for political violence in this country. I heard Senator Tillis speak. We should look at social media. We should look at mental health issues. We should look at language. But we need to do something to bring the temperature down.
Well, let me ask you about what happened.
I'm weak. Bring the temperature down. All right, great. Then stop calling Trump a dictator. Stop trying to call him a pedophile. Stop. I mean, here's the thing. Unless you guys can definitively prove it, then don't say it about Trump because you are radicalizing people to take these crazy actions. Like, I would look at Rohan and be like, honestly, because the rhetoric of the left, a lot of people done throw their lives away. I mean, Renee Good, Alex Preddy, and now Cole Allen. Because of y'all rhetoric, they've been radicalized and they've thrown their lives away. So a lot of this is on you and y'all rhetoric that I wish you guys would change.
Happens next in terms of this investigation? Do you have confidence in the Secret Service and the FBI?
Oh yeah, you don't know anything, dog. The Shaw wasn't. He had a secret police. He was a straight authoritarian. Like, are you serious? Ask the Iranian people, they'll even tell you. That's why they hate the so-called monarchists in America, because they literally whitewashed the history of the Shah. Not just putting in the fact that, yes, he basically was a dictator. And this, bro, we're Americans. Why the fuck are we supporting any monarchy? Like, are you serious?
As they carry out this investigation, Congressman.
On this issue, I do. I heard Acting Attorney General Blanche. As you know, we've had disagreements on the Epstein files, but I do believe that he's going to do everything to have a thorough investigation.
Angus, this is the last time I'm going to respond to you, dog, because you're just saying silliness at this point. You're saying silliness. He said girls are not allowed to attend schools, but we bombed the girls' school in Manab. So what? You know that we bombed the girls' school? You're saying that with Iranian girls can't go to school? Do you know Iran has some of the biggest number of female nurses? They go to college, bro. They work in medicine. They also work in engineering. They're scholars in universities. They're teachers in universities, bro. Don't know a damn thing. Iran has one of the highest literacy rates for women. Actually, no, scratch that. They have the highest literacy rate for women. These bitches can read better than ours. Excuse my language on that one. So to sit there and say something that stupid is hilarious when we just bombed the girls' school maybe like, a month ago. That Doki goes against your argument right there that women can't go to school. And if you knew anything, you would know that women are also professors, they're nurses, they're engineers. Like, really, bro? It's not Afghanistan. I think you got the two confused.
I appreciate what law enforcement did to make sure that the breach was not more than a few feet. We can look at whether there needs to be even more security in the future. I mean, I've gone to those events. It's always struck me as a bit odd that the metal detectors are before the ballroom as opposed to before the hotel. So maybe there will be some things that need to be fixed, but I do believe he will do a thorough job on this.
Speaking of the acting attorney general, you heard him just tell me that this should be a wake-up call for Congress to fund DHS. Does Congress need to act in the wake of this incident to fully fund DHS?
Absolutely. We've been funding, the Democrats have been saying we want to fund DHS. We just don't want to fund ICE agents with the ICE raids against American citizens. And
I'm weak. No, 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 Rohana, don't do that now. No, it's ICE raids against undocumented immigrants. We're not raiding American citizens, and you know that. The main problem is how these protesters are interfering with ICE agents, and they're getting themselves killed doing so. And we don't want to see Americans get killed. So cut the bullshit. It's not about ICE agents doing raids on American citizens because they're not doing that. They're doing raid on undocumented immigrants, and you leftists like they're protecting these guys or people on the left, Democrats included, and I don't understand why. Because even the most, like, I would say, reasonable among y'all say that wild ass shit, like, oh well, they're kicking in doors of U.S. citizens. No, they're not. It's undocumented immigrants, and if they do kick in the door of U.S. citizens, because they're harboring undocumented immigrants.
Against immigrants in ways that broke the law. But the Democrats have said that we will fund DHS as long as you separate that from the ICE funding. And we have done that many, many times.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I don't even agree to do that. That's why the Republicans are kind of holding strong on y'all saying that no, unless you open up all of DHS, then I'm sorry, but we're not working with you guys. And here's the thing: you guys closed down the government, you shut down DHS. There's people going without pay because you guys are holding DHS DHS employees as hostages to get your way with ICE. That is despicable. I'm gonna be real with you. And I hate how Democrats defend this shit. It's like, do you understand that people are going out a fucking paycheck, cannot pay their bills, gas is up, inflation is up, and you guys, honestly, it's cool. Make a point about Trump and how he's making it worse for them, but also help your fucking constituents. Because you sitting there keeping it closed is effing retarded, to honestly, while making the same argument about affordability. Like, think about it. You're making an argument about affordability, but you're voting to keep a check away from American people. Or sorry, I know I butchered that. But you guys understand what I'm saying, though. Complaining about affordability while keeping checks away from the American people. That is wild.
Let me turn to Iran now, this 60-day deadline that is coming up. Of course, the key deadline to legally authorize any continued military action in Iran. You've supported several unsuccessful resolutions to limit President Trump's war powers in Iran. Do you think President Trump will be able to secure congressional authorization for this war?
No, Christian, let me be clear. We need to end this war. Americans are struggling. Gas prices are up, food prices are up, housing.
Bro, Dems, look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. You guys are tripping when it comes to ICE. Like, I get that you guys have been radicalized by the death of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, but you guys have been radicalized. That's like period, point blank. Your guys' hatred of ICE does not make any sense. Literally, they're just there doing their job. There's no proof that you guys can bring up of them kicking in an American citizen's door and dragging them off to a detention center. You have no proof of that. You just listen to what radical, bro, not even CNN, MSNBC, they don't even say that dumbass shit. You guys listen to what idiots are saying on X and thinking that it's real, but it's not. You guys listen to out of context taking videos and thinking that it's ICE actually abusing American citizens when it's not. When it's a citizen who was trying to abuse an ICE officer and they're getting the repercussions of that. But you don't see that first part. So excuse me, but I'm not going to be on the ICE hate train because they're literally doing their job. And you guys are doxing them, going after their family members, trying to harass them. That's unacceptable. Even with your protests, I'm all about you guys protesting what you guys feel is wrong, but going out there and getting in their face and attacking them and then expecting nothing to happen, that's idiotic. That's retarded. That's childish. You're being held accountable for your actions, and I guess you can't take it because you're a child. Not all of y'all, but some of y'all are fucking children when it comes to this.
Costs are up. The reason those prices are up is because the Strait of Hormuz is closed and because of this war. It's caused devastation for working families. The president ran saying that he would bring prices down. Prices are up in his administration. And the way most Americans want this war to end, even 54% of Republicans believe we need negotiation to end the war. The Pope is saying end the war. Americans agree with the Pope. We need a negotiated settlement, and this war needs to end this week.
But Congressman, let me ask you, if Congress does in fact side with President Trump in that key vote, should that be an end to any legislation trying to block him? Would that effectively tie the commander-in-chief's hands?
If they authorize the vote of force, you're saying? I mean, we need to be having a war powers resolution that says that this is an illegal war, and I believe we will have the votes to do that. And that would tie.
I don't know, Rohan. I mean, you look, bro. Like I said, the Dems might actually surprise us on this one. Actually, if the Dems actually are like, vote to, keep this war going, I'm gonna be honest with you, I seen it coming. Because like I said, Dems, I mean, look, they'll sit there and condemn it in y'all face. They'll go on CNN, I mean, MSNBC and sit there and be like, oh, we're against this war. Trump is evil. But when they go home at night, they're shaking pom-poms. They're over here having a glass of Chardonnay over this in celebration. So I can see these guys going into Congress and actually voting to keep this war going. And you guys all start freaking out, going like, oh, the Dems are so weak. And I'm be like, yeah, I know, I told you so. They'll sit there and say it in your face that they don't support the war, but behind closed doors, they're voting on to keep it going. So, hey, we'll see how that turns out. Hopefully I'm wrong.
The president's hands in terms of not being able to get funding to continue this war. That's how we ended the Vietnam War. It's how we ended the Iraq War, not funding this. But this idea that we're going to put $400 billion more into a war in Iran and that we're going to watch prices go up is just hurting working class Americans. It's not what the president ran on.
All right, a few other quick topics. I want to turn to the big news out of Virginia, that redistricting.
And that's going to be a hit too, because it's like, look, and the people who are against this war, oh my God, their arguments are almost vindicated at this point. I mean, they're going to say it's bad for the American people. And it is bad. Gas prices are up, inflation's up, and the global economy is being held by the balls by Iran. I mean, we're not in a good position right now. We don't got there's no regime change. We don't have any securement of the enriched uranium. I mean, what? Like they still have thousands of ballistic missiles and drones. 60% of their Navy is still operational. What have we really done? And they're going to have all this, or they're going to have all these arguments, and they're going to cook anybody who's really trying to support the war and keep it going, because there is really no real good argument to keep this war going. Shit, there's not even a good argument for the war to even be started. Like, nobody is giving me a good argument on how this war is helping the American people. I mean, they like to sit there and say, oh, it's hurting Russia. Well, Russia was selling oil at $40 a barrel, guys. They was. Now they're selling it at 90. So what are you talking about? China? Bro, 20 Iranian shadow fleets was able to get through the blockade straight to China. What are you talking about? Who are we hurting again? Because it sounds like the only person we're hurting is our own people.
Referendum that passed this week in that state, potentially giving Democrats a chance to flip up to 4 Republican seats. Some of the same Democratic leaders who backed it, like former President Barack Obama, Governor Abigail Spanberger, had previously spoken out against gerrymandering. Let me give you an example. President Obama saying in 2020, it has warped our representative government. Governor Spanberger saying in 2019, it is detrimental to our democracy.
Look, man, I wouldn't believe a damn thing Barack Obama. I'll be real with you now. Barack Obama's grimy because he has a very duplicitous history of telling people, look, support me and I'll make you Secretary of State. Bro told 4 people that and lied to all of them. So Barack Obama's very shady on that note. Abigail Spanberger ran on affordability, got in, and then literally raised taxes. Like, oh my God, I feel so bad for the people of Virginia, because they really needed somebody to help them with affordability. They voted in a lady who ran on affordability just to watch her raise taxes. I always told you, bro, if you're voting for a Dem based on affordability, man, God bless your heart, man. Because I'm sorry, just God bless your heart, because ain't no way you doing that.
This political win for Democrats ultimately comes at the expense of a healthier democracy.
No, the Democrats, including President Obama, supported the John Lewis Voting Rights Act. That would have ended gerrymandering across the country. The Republicans, not a single Republican, supported that bill. Then Donald Trump says, I want to have partisan gerrymandering because I know we're going to lose the midterms otherwise. Well, the Democrats are not going to unilaterally disarm. In a game that the Republicans started, they're actually losing. They're down a seat. So the Democrats still would welcome an effort to ban gerrymandering, to go and pass the Voting Rights Act, and have independent commissions. But what we're not going to do.
I don't know about that, Rohan. I think you would be willing to do that, but I don't think those Dems in Virginia are willing to do that. So, like, you can't really speak for all of them because look what they're doing in Virginia. They're not saying, hey, yo, we're going to go ahead and do a congressional map redrawing if you don't stop what you're doing in Texas. No, they just did it. They didn't do a warning. They didn't say it's a deterrent. They just did it.
Is watch unilateral disarmament, and just Republicans get to gerrymander and we don't.
Congressman, finally, let me ask you about the Epstein files. You mentioned that earlier. You told me last time we spoke that you actually wanted King Charles, who's poised to visit the United States, to meet with the Epstein survivors during his upcoming visit. He has said that he will not. What was your reaction to hearing that? What are the implications, do you think?
I was disappointed. I had a constructive meeting with the British ambassador. I am hopeful that King Charles, when he speaks to the Congress, will acknowledge the Epstein survivors, will call.
You know what's so funny about that comment? Like, one, well, it's not true. Obama didn't give U.S. taxpayer dollars to Iran to fund their nuclear weapons program. What he did was lifted sanctions off Iran, unfreeze Iranian assets that he pretty much sent back to him. So, AKA, Iran, he didn't give Iran taxpayer dollars. He gave Iran their own money. And because he gave Iran back their own money, this is how he got them into the JCPOA, which assured that Iran kept their enrichment at 3.67%. I mean, I'm gonna be real with you guys, and I hate to admit this, but Obama had a better plan to deal with the Iranians than Trump did. Like, and that's just the facts. Like, remember, Trump is going there off their enrichment program and all this good stuff. All right, well, if that was the problem, then why'd you get out the JCPOA where we had people on the ground literally looking over their enrichment program? We knew how much they had in stockpile. We knew what they were enriching at, and they were following it according to the IAEA and the UN. Like, all of that went out the window when Trump pretty much got out of it in 2018. He put back on the sanctions that Obama lifted. And that was the money that, Iran was using not to honestly rebuild no nuclear. They had no nuclear nukes. I mean, they had no nuclear weapons system. They have no nukes. So I'm sorry, but to sit there and say that, Obama was funding their nuclear weapon missile program, that's a lie. It's not true. And I'm not a fan of Obama, but I am a fan of the truth, though.
For justice, will call for investigations and prosecutions.
No, they did follow the deal, bro. From reports from the IAEA from 2015 to 2018, Iran abided by all guidelines of the JCPOA and by all inspections done by the IAEA, all of them. So no, but the people lied to you and say that they broke it, but won't explain how they broke it. Like, all right, how they break it? Because everybody say, they broke the deal. How they break it? Please explain. Because nobody can. Like, somebody will sit there and say, well, in 2021, they had 6% enrichment. Bro, do you understand that we broke the JCPOA in 2018 when we got out of it and put back on the sanctions? So you tell me you just expected Iran to abide by a deal that we weren't abiding by ourselves? Do you hear yourself? So I'm saying a lot of people don't even really know the details of the JCPOA, and they've been lied to about it. Honestly, and I hate the right for doing this, but they sold it to you as if Obama was supporting terrorists when he was actually just working out a deal with them, actually pretty decent deal that actually secured our curiosity about Iran's nuclear capabilities.
It would be an enormous gesture if, when he's speaking at the Congress, he does that, and I'm hopeful that he will.
Okay, well, we'll watch and see what he has to say. Congressman Khanna, thank you so very much for being here. We appreciate it.
No.
Thank you, Kristen.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking news and top